Your assignment today is lesson number 15 on code.org and unit number 3. And this is a quick walkthrough of some things you're going to see. Part 1 is just setting it up. Part 2 is a video. We've already covered the things that are in the video, to tell you the truth. You can watch it if you want to. Part 3 is all you're going to have to do is add a velocity block to make this fish move. Here's how you're going to know if you got it right. The fish should move across the screen. You do it by adding a velocity block. Not a difficult thing. Number 4, part 4. You're going to add a velocity block to make a feather fall, and how fast it falls will be up to you. You'll use a velocity block to do it. You have to solve that little puzzle. Part number 5 is a sun, a graphic of a sun that you want to make rotate. And we haven't done this block, but it works the same as the velocity blocks. You're just going to add a rotation speed block and set it to, they recommend 3 pixels on every tick through the draw loop. But yeah, pretty easy on that one. Number 6, part 6. This rotation speed for the wheel, you got a color wheel and you're going to make it spin, but it's going to be conditional based on the if block that you see in the coding. If you hit the space bar, the wheel spins. If you don't hit the space, if you let go, it'll keep spinning. But if you press the space bar, the wheel will spin, and that's what you're going to do on part 6. Part 7, you're going to add an if block to this one. There won't be an if block in it to begin with, but it'll be set up this way. You add an if condition to check to see if the space bar is pressed. If the space bar is pressed, the little robot guy ought to rise up the screen. So you'll do that with a velocity block, and that is part 7. That's what it's going to look like if you get it right. Part number 8 is a prediction kind of thing. You read the code that's here, and you make a prediction on what you think will happen. There's a box for you to type in, and you run the code once you've made your prediction. So that's part number 8. Part number 9, you're going to have to read some directions here, because what's going to happen is you're going to add some velocity blocks that are going to go inside the if blocks that are in the code. The if blocks are already in there. You're going to add some velocity blocks to it so that it behaves in this way. You have to hit the right arrow to get the thing going, and when you hit the right arrow, the fish moves across the screen. When it gets to the right-hand side, it reverses direction, goes over to the left-hand side. When it gets to the left-hand side, it stops. And that's what you have to solve. And it's all right here in the directions. You got to make sure you read the directions on part 9. Part 10 is a summary of some of the things that have been happening so far. It's about moving objects with the velocity blocks, which we've got some experience with. Now when you get to part 11, 12, and 13, you're going to work on the idea of making this frog jump over the mushroom, and eventually you're going to make the mushroom move, and eventually you're going to make the mushroom also loop over and over. And we've got experience with those things. On Monday and Tuesday we worked on things just like that. You are going to need to read directions when you get to part 11. You're going to work on making the frog jump up, and one of the things you have to look for here, one of the things that will help you, is the comments that are left in the code. Like right here, it says make the frog move up. So that tells you where the code should go. That's going to be a velocity block, and it shows you it should go right in that white hole. And here where it says make the frog stop moving, that's going to be another velocity block, and it's going to go right in that white hole right under the comment. And then down here it says if the frog gets high enough, that's where some more code is going to have to go right in there to check to see if it's high enough, and you got to make it go back down. Those are problems you are going to have to solve, and if you need help, I'll help you. And that's going to be on part 11. On part 12, you're going to add in some code that will make the mushroom, when you run it, it will make the mushroom slide to the left. And we've done that before. That's not too hard. And there's even a spot down here that says, well, no, actually, it's not down at the bottom. You can just add the velocity block up at the beginning of the program, right? You're just going to make the mushroom move to the left. And then when you get to part 13, it is about making the mushroom loop like we did on Tuesday. When it gets to the left-hand edge, you want it to reappear over on the right-hand edge, and just keep doing that the whole time so that the mushroom is always going and going and going. So you're kind of setting up a little thing where you can make the frog jump over the mushroom by tapping the up arrow, and the mushroom is moving the whole time across the screen. If you need any help with any of this, I am available to help, but this little walkthrough hopefully gives you a heads up about what it's going to look like when you've got it done right. Off you go.